From the high desert southwest and an indiscreet shave den located in the deep recesses of Ouch's basement, broadcasting north from McMurdo Sound to Ice Station Zebra and east and west across all time zones to our members throughout the world, this is Badger and Blade Radio. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be on this big, blue, beautiful marble we call home, and welcome to Badger and Blade Radio. On tonight's show, just a quick reminder, we're a little over 2 weeks away from the start of the Sue Moor Memorial Auction on October 19th, so we're asking all members and vendors that if you'd like to donate, please do so now, and get ready to bid and bid often. Also on tonight's show, we have news and events around BadgerandBlade.com, our poll question and results, as well as our mail call bag, and then a very special rebroadcast interview with Wendy, Sue's daughter, from St. Charles Shave. All that and much, much more when we get back on B&B Radio. Stay with us.
I think women are becoming a little more frightening to men these days. Maybe because we're freer to do much more. But some men aren't intimidated at all. They enjoy our freedom. Those are the men I like. And you know, those are the men who wear English leather cologne. English leather fits the way they live. It's so clean and natural, and I love it. So all my men wear English leather, or they wear nothing at all.
Look for English leather in a wide selection of gift sets.
Welcome back to B&B Radio, everybody. As we open up our mailbox for this week, we did have a poll question for everybody with the Sue Moor Memorial Auction coming up. We thought it was appropriate. And the question was, how or will you be involved in this year's Sue Moor Memorial Auction? Now, before we give those results, Clyde72, Craig, and I were having a discussion, and somehow it got onto cars and announcing for drag strips. So he thought it was a funny idea that if I would announce a specific segment as a drag strip announcer. Now, to do the entire segment, my voice would be trashed, so I'm going to do a little bit here, so we hope you enjoy that. Craig, this one's for you. Thursday, October 19th, 2017, the Sue Moor Memorial Auction at B&B Raceway. 3 full days of horsepower, unlimited bidding, and entertainment. We're going to sell you the whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge. Well, there you go, Craig, and never let it be said, B&B members, that B&B Radio does not take requests, no matter how embarrassing they may be. As we get back to the mail call segment, we once again did have a poll. How or will you be involved in this year's Sue Moor Memorial Auction? We had a couple of questions. The first was, this is my favorite time of year here at B&B. I donated and will be looking forward to bidding. Of the people that responded, 3 votes, 25%. The next question was, this is my first auction and I cannot wait for it. 1 vote and 8.3%. I have donated. That was 4 votes, 33.3%. I am looking at bidding at some items, and I have not donated yet. That was 3 votes at 25%. I'm interested in watching, but will probably not bid on anything. That was 1 vote at 8.3%. And then finally, what is the Sue Moor Memorial Auction? And we had 2 votes for that at 16.7%. So hopefully, folks, you found out what the Sue Moor Memorial Auction is. Once again, October 19th, that will be starting. And some of the comments from the mailbox come from one, Nurse Dave. Dave, this is my first year for the auction. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very curious to see what will be auctioned off. As always, I will be looking for things that I need but didn't know I needed. This is also the most welcoming and supportive online group I've been a part of. So, I'm participating as well. I reached out to Captain's Choice in addition to what they were already planning to donate. We've gone together on a 4 different lot of multiple items. Well, thank you so much, Nurse Dave. Dave, we appreciate it. So I'm hoping people will enjoy seeing those and getting some quality products and supporting a great cause. Bid often and bid high. Well, thank you, David. And from C. Vargo, Chad will be bidding and donating soon. From Matt one of our stewards, I have donated 3 lots and planning on bidding. I need to buy something soon or I'm going to start to get the shakes. Well, Matt, you are definitely eligible for the Central Enablement Center as well. From Ted E.M. Wolf, I donated last year but haven't yet this year. Is there still time to donate? Why, absolutely, Ted. There sure is, all the way up to the last minute, as I may have a slim that may be ready to go. So for those of you looking for a Gillette Slim, Ted might be donating one, so keep an eye out for the lots. From Light 1776, Chris, this will be my second year observing the auction. First year with a small donation. It's a great cause, and perhaps one day I will have some extra funds to bid on. However, I have all that I need right now, so I enjoy watching all the fun. And finally, from TJ, Doc Holliday, this is the first time that I've been around for the auction, and I will be definitely watching the lots and see what I may need that I did not know I need until I see it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our quick mailbox for this week. We certainly appreciate you taking part in our poll. We will have a new poll question up for the next show. And as always, if you have stories, special interest items, or anything you'd like to ask of B&B or B&B Radio, please make sure that you search the video library for the mail call segment of the week. We'll be right back right after this.
People with trouble call me. My name is Gillette. I was in my office when the blonde busted in.
My man, he's
Too fresh?
too rough. Look at my face.
Uh-huh. Let's go. On the way to his apartment, I got her story. Sad. Her man had never used the perfect shaving method. I met the problem. Face to face. Your girlfriend, right? Right. You've been rubbing up her face, right?
Right.
But we're great together, honey. Wrong. You need a real smooth shave. You won't have any more trouble. Later, just give him these.
How can
Don't
I...
thank me. I just keep the shaves in this town clean. That's my job. My name is Gillette.
Welcome back to B&B Radio, everybody. Our next segment is a pre-recorded interview that we had with Wendy, Sue Moor's daughter, from last year, right around this same time. We thought that it was worth playing again to find out some of the things that were going on, because the legacy of Sue Moor and St. Charles Shave continues on with her daughter, Wendy. So please enjoy this rebroadcast of our interview with Wendy from St. Charles Shave. Welcome back to Badger and Blade, everybody, and as you do know, within 48 hours, the Sue Moor Memorial Auction for 2016 will be starting, and we are very honored to have Wendy, the daughter of Sue Moor, as our special guest tonight. How you doing, Wendy?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well, and I really, really appreciate, as well as all the members of Badger and Blade appreciate, the fact that you're taking time with us to give us a little bit of an insight. And you know what? Tell us a little bit about your mom, and if you can recall, how did St. Charles Shave get started, and how did she get involved with Badger and Blade?
Well, my mom, as most people probably don't know, she was very ill. She had an autoimmune disease, and it left her wheelchair bound and legally blind. So she would find things to trinket with, make different crafts. She could make anything. She couldn't see very well, obviously. She'd use magnifying glass to be able to feel and touch around stuff, magnifying glass on her massive monitor at home to read the computer. And she just started making soaps and lotions for friends and family. Started listing stuff on eBay, and one day she got an email from Tony Esposito asking, had she ever made a shave soap? No, she never had, and she thought she'd give it a try, and from there it went to selling a lot of soap on eBay to opening up an LLC and going into business at that point.
Wow.
So she just, something to keep her going, keep her busy, because she was confined to her house.
Sure. Well, and then, and I know that she was one of the very first and one of the founding members of Badger and Blade, as I recall.
Yes, she was in it right from the get-go.
Well, and I think that's why the members have such a love for St. Charles Shave, I think, and you know, with the unfortunate, you know, passing of your mom, why it's so important each and every year for you know, for the Sue Moor auction each and every year, especially with the fact that, you know, all the proceeds are donated to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Now, have you always been involved in the business, and are there any other family members involved?
There's no other family members. Of course, we all have chipped in and helped from time to time when she needed help before I joined forces with her. I lived in the same neighborhood, and I would go over if she had an influx of sales or a special sale, something of that sort going on. And about 2 years after she was in business, I had got laid off from the company I was with. I was 2 months pregnant, didn't want to go seek work elsewhere, didn't think it'd be fair to another company, so I thought, well, I'll work with her just during my pregnancy and maybe 6 months after, and from there, I just never went back. I enjoyed it. It was fun watching her. She'd scoot around in her wheelchair in the basement, and she was like Tasmanian devil.
Wow. Well, and it's nice to see that you've kept that going. And as far as I recall with conversations that you and I have had in the past, after she passed, was it Jim that approached you about the auction?
I'm pretty sure it was Jim. During that time frame, everything's kind of a blur. I think I talked to a couple people, but I believe Jim was the main person who had originally approached about it. And I know they had done... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I know they had done a thread, and people were commenting and leaving messages to my mom when she was on hospice care right before she had passed. And I printed off all those emails and messages and PMs that were in regards to my mom, and I took them to her, and she got to read those a couple days before she passed. And then shortly after that, I had spoke with Jim and maybe other people also.
Sure. No, I understand. I can imagine that it was probably quite a blur, but it's also a neat, heartwarming story to know that, the forum that she was here from the beginning, reached out so quickly to say, hey, we want to do something to pay Sue's memory back, by doing that. And, with that in mind, and I know as busy as you are, you may not see it as much as often, but what do you think it is that causes the auction to have such a positive and emotional impact each and every year?
Well, I think in general, everybody has been touched in their lives by some sort of cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, any type of cancer, a loved one, a friend. And then you take it to a personal level with my mom, who had such great friendships with people she had just met online. In fact, when she first started communicating on Badger and Blade, I heard about Mark the Shoeshine Boy all the time. All these jokes. She had to tell me about these every day. I'm like, what kind of name is that? Mark the Shoeshine Boy? And I didn't even know that there was different handles for everybody. I'm thinking, well, that's kind of odd.
Well, it's funny, and that's just it. A lot of us, we go by our avatars and stuff like that. But the one thing that I think, what you're pointing out is that how unique Badger and Blade is in the realm of online forums. It's really a big family. And, the people that have been around a long time get to know people. And even though they've never shaken your hand, they've never looked you in the eye. And I think that's one of the biggest things, because I don't know how recently you were on the forum, but it's a fever pitch right now. I mean, avatars are starting to turn pink. People's threads are starting to turn pink. And you had mentioned to me off air that even in and around where you live, things are going on to remember your mom, correct?
Oh, yes. Yep. Pink hair on my daughter's soccer team, pink hair in the schools. My kids, of course, have pink shoes, pink clothes, pink everything.
Well, and it's got to be heartwarming. I'm sure, obviously I lost my mom in February to Alzheimer's. And so, I know that each time the memory comes up, it's one of those bittersweet things. It's sweet that everybody's coming out to support the memory, but at the same time, it was your mom, and that makes it tough. Are there any things in the auction that have surprised you as far as the success of the auction?
I think it all surprises me. Every year, it just gets bigger, and people are more generous, and everybody comes together. It's just such a unique, I don't even know. It's just amazing. I don't even know how to put it into words. My mom would just be shocked.
Well, but, and the thing is, and, we've been talking about your mom, but at the same time, you deserve a lot of the credit, because, you're a household name around Badger and Blade now. You think St. Charles Shave, the first thing you do is you think of Wendy. And so, you've kept that tradition going. And now that you're kind of running the business, obviously, what have you learned and what has surprised you about running an artisan business like this?
Surprising how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
I am shocked at the amount of hours. There's no way I could ever put in the time that my mom did. I'm shocked at how into shave gear men are. That is baffling. Oh my gosh, women! I don't even think women are this bad about their stuff. We've got to have all of our little sprays and stuff like that. You men are crazy about this stuff.
Well,
you know it all.
well, that for years and years and years, we as men have been barraged by all the different, makeup and perfume commercials and having to navigate our way around our lovely spouse's equipment and stuff in there. So I think in a way this is somewhat payback, because in my case, I actually got kicked out of the master bathroom. I actually am now been relegated to the guest bathroom, but now I've filled it up with so much shaving stuff that I'm starting to bleed out into other rooms, which isn't going so well. But and I think that what you just said is perfect. I mean, who would have thought that you take over the business from your mom and it's shaving soap, it's soap, and then all of a sudden, boom, everybody's saying, hey, we need this, we want this, can you do this, can you do that? And so actually it's it's a big business. It really is.
See, and everybody always said the women are the shoppers. I beg to differ.
Well, and I think the auction actually proves that point, because what's amazing to me is when you see the amount that goes for some of the items. Now, obviously, when we go out and we buy regular shave soap and stuff like that, that's one thing. But for the auction, everybody ramps it up, obviously because it's for your mom, and obviously it's because for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. But it's amazing what some of these things go for, and that's all thanks to you, your businesses, some of the other artisans that are out there, and really most importantly, it's the biggest 3-day event on our calendar each and every year, and the 19th, as you know, is always Sue Moor Day on badgerandblade.com, and everything goes pink. Everything goes pink, and people talk about it, and it's just neat. Now, is anything else surprised you about running the business?
Well, not so much that I can pinpoint yet, because everything has surprised me. I'm not even kidding about that. It's just the in-depth of recipes, how much detail has to go into every new recipe. You would think, well, there's just a few fine ingredients that you need, and then you add whatever else to make it your own. And it's not that easy. It's not that easy. I hear tonight at my daughter's softball game, ladies talking about how she makes her own perfume.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? Well, how did you start doing that? Well, I mix vodka and something else. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess if that works for you. But yeah, just finding the different ingredients, trying to make a recipe and a fragrance that's going to be a hit. It's very hard.
Well, and I think talking to some people, they say that running a business, in the men's, or for lack of a better term, the shaving realm, when it comes to soaps, aftershaves, body soaps, and stuff like that, is one success with about 5,000 failures.
Absolutely. And then do it with some children in the house that need to be down there right up in it too,
Exactly.
Wanting to package and label. And if anybody's ever got shave soap samples from me, they can probably tell that my kids had put labels on them because they have to be in it.
Well, and in a way that's good, because it brings that legacy. And I think for those of us that purchase from you on a fairly regular basis, that it does bring that family, with the memory of Sue and with you now running it and with the kids involved and everything else. I mean, you just mentioned the word fairway on Badger and Blade, and that thread will explode in a heartbeat, which says something to what you guys have built up to this point. And because your products are stupendous, and that's one thing you said earlier about, we as men are the big shoppers with shave stuff and we know everything, but at the same time, when we find something good, we won't shut up about it. And and Fairway is just one of the products that I know that just gets airtime like crazy because everybody loves it. Now, do you have any final thoughts for the members of Badger and Blade, and about the auction, and maybe a little bit about your mom?
Well, I just really like to say thank you to everybody who participates, whether it's donating, just donating time, buying items, passing the word along. And I know it's something that if my mom could be here to see it, she'd be thrilled. I don't think she realized the love and outreach of people that really cared so much.
Well, and I think you're right. Now, for the listeners and for, maybe some of those new members that have not been to St. Charles Shave, can you go ahead and give us your website?
It's www.stcharlesshave.com.
Fantastic. Well, Wendy, I appreciate you taking the time, because a lot of times when you go down memory lane, it can be, sometimes a painful road, even though, this is a happy time. But we really want to thank you for taking the time, for sticking with Badger and Blade, and being, as part of the family. You are one of the longest term members and one of the longest term vendors of Badger and Blade, and everyone from the ownership all the way down to the mods and stewards and the members really, really appreciate you being there for us. And I want to thank you on behalf of Badger and Blade Radio for taking the time to do this interview.
Well, thank you. Thank all the members, the mods, everybody.
I will do that, and I hope to see you maybe for a day lurking around during the auction.
I will do that. I will be homebound, so I will be on.
Fantastic, Wendy. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
In November 2010, BadgerandBlade.com lost a shining star within the wet shaving community. Sue Moor, better known as St. Sue, lost her battle with breast cancer after being diagnosed in February of that year. Breast cancer takes the lives of thousands and thousands of both men and women each and every year. Sue was a founding member of BadgerandBlade.com and was also a very highly respected vendor here on the forum. Sue owned and operated St. Charles Shave, a purveyor and maker of high-quality shave soaps, aftershaves, and other care items for both men and women, a tradition that continues today under the watchful eye of her daughter and family. Sue was an integral part of BadgerandBlade.com and touched the lives of so many here. Prior to her passing, Sue had received the Badger and Blade Merit Award, one of the organization's highest and most coveted recognitions. So touched were the members of BadgerandBlade.com that October 19th of each year will forever be known as Sue Moor Day here on the forum. So dedicated are the members that you will often see many of their avatars dressed in pink as a tribute to the woman so loved by the ladies and gentlemen here on the forum. In a continuing effort to bring breast cancer awareness to the forefront, BadgerandBlade.com and its members have partnered with the National Breast Cancer Foundation to present a live auction each and every year to support the research and eventual cure of this horrible disease. The auction brings together literally thousands of members and hundreds of auction items annually. The auction items are donated by caring members and vendors of BadgerandBlade.com. 100% of the proceeds are donated in Sue's name to the National Breast Cancer Foundation by the members making their donations directly to the NBCF. As of July 2015, BadgerandBlade.com had raised over $64,000 on its way to $100,000 or more. This is where you can help. October 19th, 2015 is when this year's auction will kick off. You can literally bid on hundreds of items, with again 100% of the proceeds being donated directly by you, the members, to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. You can find the auction link on the main page of BadgerandBlade.com. Also, this auction needs your help in other ways as well. Be an integral part of the auction by donating items such as wet shaving gear, vintage razors and straights, body and skin care items, pipes, cigars, lighters, coffee, and so much more. Or, if you'd like to make a direct donation, you can do so directly to the NBCF. Again, the auction will begin October 19th, 2015, and can be found at BadgerandBlade.com. Our website address is www.badgerandblade.com. You'll find all the information on the main forum index page. There will also be instructions on how to donate items for the auction, as well as monetary donations directly to the NBCF. We look forward to your support of the Sue Moor Memorial Auction to benefit National Breast Cancer Foundation awareness on October 19th. right here at the largest and most comprehensive wet shaving forum in the world at badgerandblade.com. We hope to see you there. Hey, B&B, this time of year we're often asked, what can we donate to the Sue Moor Memorial Auction? Well, pretty much anything. There are certain things that are verboten, as they say, firearms, alcohol, certain types of items. If you do plan on giving any tobacco-style products, that will go into the brown leaf auction, so make sure if you don't have your brown leaf badge that you go ahead and get that. It's part of the contributor section, so just take a look up there. But pretty much anything. We do ask that if it's software shaving related, such as shave soaps, aftershaves, or anything like that, that it is in brand new condition rather than used. But as far as hardware, used hardware is fine. And anything, if you look at all the different forms that we do have here on B&B, there is a multitude of things that you can donate to help the National Breast Cancer Foundation in memory of Sue. So once again, that'll all start out on October 19th, just 2 weeks away. And now for some news and events around badgerandblade.com. Sam, Rock Viper, one of our moderators here, you may or may not know he has been running a PIF. Now, this is a PIF that we haven't seen that is lasting into the multi-years, so you can take part in it by guessing when he will 3017, which means that when he will finish some P160 shave soap. This stuff is, majority of the time, is unobtainium. Now, he has decided what the prize will be, and it's huge. It will be 100 grams of the P160 Tipo Duro shave soap. The PIF is still open, so please check it out and get signed up for the date that you think he will finish. Mick from the cafe wants to let everybody know to come on over to the cafe and join in with other B&B tea and coffee drinkers for some good, friendly conversation. And also, please don't forget, all of our vendors here that support Badger and Blade do have a vendor mall right here on Badger and Blade. If you scroll down near the bottom of the page, you will see the vendor section. Please stop in there, take a look at what they have, say hi, and please support our vendors here at B&B as they support Badger and Blade and our membership. From the dark room, the contest is just over, and that September photo contest was framed. Devent member Dave made that, and it was the winner. So please check that out over in the dark room. And the new October photo contest of the month will be up. And from David in the haberdashery, cold weather is coming for a lot of the forum members. The haberdashery would like to know how people are getting geared up for the fall and winter seasons. And as always, we end with our mod peculiarity, and it just so happens again that Ford Father submitted that his Achilles heel has a stunt double. Now I'll let that percolate inside of you guys, and don't let it leak out of your brain. That's it for our mail call section. We'll be right back out to Shows the Show.
Hey, Pete Rose! What's a man really want from an aftershave? Not fancy perfume. Or fancy bottles. Not fancy prices. No! A man wants to smell like a man. There's something about Aqua Velva. He wants to be cool and refreshed. There's something about Aqua Velva. A man wants to feel like a man. Feel like a man. Cause there's something about an Aqua Velva man.
This brings another episode of Badger and Blade Radio to a close, and we certainly want to thank you for spending some of your time with us today. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we know that we have been pushing the Sue Moor Memorial Auction, but it is one of the most important days here at Badger and Blade. October 19th is known as Sue Moor Day here at badgerandblade.com. And just a reminder, it's only about 2 weeks away, so dig deep. We've got about 90 lots on our goal to 100. However, we think we might be able to get to 200, so if you've got anything you'd like to donate, please do so. We will go ahead and show at the end of the show a small little video on how you can do that. Once again, the auction runs from May 19th through the 21st with 3 days, 24 hours a day of nonstop bidding action. We are working on, however, we cannot promise this, that we're going to do a B&B live radio show with call-ins so you can talk to us and ask questions. We're still working on the logistics of that, and if we can do it, we will let you know, as well as if we can't do it, we'll let you know that as well. As always, we'd like to thank the mods and the stews for everything they do each and every day to build content and make BadgerandBlade.com very enjoyable. We'd like to thank the admins and the owners for bringing us this wonderful site. And most importantly, we'd like to thank you, the member, new and old, for being a part of Badger and Blade. We certainly appreciate it, and you are the lifeblood of Badger and Blade. That's all we have for this week. Just a reminder to take a look at the terms of usage. It's just something that you want to remind yourself of on a regular basis about the rules and regulations of BadgerandBlade.com. I've been your host, Skyside Dave, and join us for the next episode of Badger and Blade Radio. See you soon. Hello, B&B, Skyside here. Does the date October 19th mean anything to you? Well, to our veteran members, it certainly does. And for your newer members, October 19th of each and every year is Sue Moor Day here at BadgerandBlade.com. It is also the start of a 3-day auction to memorialize Sue Moor and to benefit the National Breast Cancer Foundation. There will be much more information in the General Shaving Discussion Forum as we get closer. We thought we'd do this small tutorial today just to show you how to donate items to the auction and to maximize the number of bids as you have items in the auction. The first section, these are all required, by the way. Just click on the item, and for purposes of this tutorial, we'll just go ahead and put shave brush. Once you have that in there, you will have the item description. This is where you're going to sell your item. You want to be as descriptive as possible because this is where the bidders are going to be looking to see if they want to bid on your item. And the better to the description, the more bids that you will get. Now, in this case, we're just going to put Rudy Vay 28 millimeter silver tip. Now, under shipping restrictions, if you have certain restrictions on your shipping, in other words, if you're planning on just shipping it continental United States only, or if you're planning on doing international shipping, or if you want the winner of the bid to help in the international shipping if possible. You want to be as descriptive as possible here on any restrictions that you may have to not cause any misunderstandings during the auction. So for purposes of this tutorial, we're just going to put continental United States. Then the image URL. Now, you can have a maximum of 6 images, and we do suggest that you use all 6. However, you will need to have your pictures hosted somewhere. You will have to have an internet URL to attach to. We do recommend that you download your pictures into the Badger and Blade gallery. You do have space under your membership, and there will be a tutorial for how to download into the gallery with this tutorial as well. However, if you use a third-party service such as Imgur, you'll just need to capture the URL and paste it here. Now, as I said, you can have up to 6 other pictures. Once you're completed with that, make sure that all items are filled out and filled out correctly, and then just hit submit. Once you hit submit, you'll see thank you for your donation, and that's all there is to it. If for whatever reason you make a mistake, you will get an error message and have to go back in. So that's it. Thank you for being members of BadgerandBlade.com.